The 1982 thriller The Seduction promised an enticing blend of suspense and sensuality. But for leading Lady Morgan Fairchild, the film was a battle to maintain her dignity amid a sea of exploitative filmmaking choices. Directed by David Schmuller and produced by Irwin Yablans, The Seduction was meant to capitalize on the growing trend of erotic thrillers, but ultimately, it became notorious for its over-reliance on steamy visuals rather than storytelling depth. And for Fairchild, it became an exercise in staying classy while the camera seemed more interested in keeping her wet than in crafting a compelling narrative. At its core, The Seduction tells the story of Jamie Douglas, a successful Los Angeles news anchor who becomes the obsession of an unhinged photographer named Derek, played by Andrew Stevens. What starts as an admirer's infatuation quickly escalates into full-blown stalking and home invasion, leading to a tense climax where Jamie is forced to defend herself when the system fails her. The film takes cues from the real-life terror of celebrity stalking cases, which were only just beginning to be recognized as serious threats in the early 80s. The film begins with a now iconic scene of Jamie swimming nude in her luxurious private pool, completely unaware that she is being watched and photographed by Derek from his home next door. This opening sequence sets the tone for the rest of the movie, as Jamie is repeatedly placed in compromising, voyeuristic scenarios, while Derek's obsession grows increasingly dangerous. The cinematography, while visually polished, often feels like it was designed more for an adult magazine spread than a serious thriller. The constant focus on Fairchild's body, whether in the pool, in the bath, in a sauna, or lounging in a hot tub, was one of the biggest criticisms leveled at the film. While the premise had the potential to be an engaging psychological thriller, the execution often veered into unintentional camp. Critics panned The Seduction as a shallow excuse to showcase Fairchild in various states of undress, whether swimming, showering, or lounging in a hot tub. Reviewers were quick to note that Fairchild spent more time submerged in water than some marine animals, making it painfully obvious what the filmmakers prioritized. Some even compared the experience of watching the film to being assaulted by early 80s kitsch, from the neon pink title logo to the saccharine theme song performed by Dionne Warwick. Despite these criticisms, the film did manage to attract some notable fans. One of the most surprising revelations about The Seduction was that Hollywood legend Bette Davis reportedly loved the movie. Davis allegedly sent Morgan Fairchild a letter praising her performance, an unexpected stamp of approval from an actress known for her high standards and sharp critiques. While this letter may have been a small consolation for Fairchild, it was far from enough to salvage the film's reputation. Behind the scenes, the film's production was fraught with controversy. The decision to hire an entirely non-union crew sparked protests, and tensions ran high as the filmmakers rushed to complete production before an impending Directors Guild of America contract deadline. Meanwhile, actors who were initially considered for the lead roles, such as Teresa Russell and Valerie Perrine for Jamie, or Peter Gallagher and Michael Keaton for Derek, ultimately passed on the project. Andrew Stevens, who eventually took on the role of Derek, was reportedly hesitant to accept the part, but was eventually convinced by producer Irwin Yablans' persistence. Stevens would later admit that he had turned down the role multiple times before finally relenting. Fairchild, known for her glamorous television roles, was making her theatrical feature film debut with The Seduction, but it wasn't the star-making turn she might have hoped for. While her performance was competent, it was overshadowed by a script that failed to give her character much dimension beyond being a damsel in distress. Despite this, Fairchild was not one to back down from a challenge, and her background in television prepared her well for the rigorous demands of a feature-length film. Born Patsy Ann McClenny in Dallas, Texas, Morgan Fairchild changed her name early in her career and quickly became known for her striking looks and undeniable screen presence. She landed her first major television role on Search for Tomorrow, a daytime soap opera, before transitioning into primetime TV, where she became a household name with Flamingo Road. Her signature blonde hair, elegant demeanor, and husky voice made her a natural fit for the era's glamorous leading ladies. However, unlike some of her contemporaries, Fairchild was determined to maintain a level of class and sophistication in her work. She later stated in interviews that she fought hard to keep the Seduction from becoming even more exploitative than it already was. Fairchild's concerns were justified. The marketing for the film leaned heavily into its erotic elements, with promotional materials emphasizing the voyeuristic aspects of the story. The Australian home video release even featured a pink-colored title logo, a clear reference to Fairchild's popularity in Flamingo Road, which had a similar aesthetic. The movie posters featured taglines such as "Alone, Terrified, Trapped like an Animal. Now she's fighting back with the only weapon she has, herself." A melodramatic pitch that hinted at the film's mix of titillation and thriller elements. Despite the film's many shortcomings, The Seduction managed to gross a respectable $11.4 million at the box office, but that didn't save it from critical ridicule. It earned 3 Razzie nominations, with Fairchild singled out for Worst Actress and Worst New Star. Colleen Camp, who played Jamie's best friend Robin, was also nominated for Worst Supporting Actress. The film's lack of suspense and overuse of erotic tropes led many to compare it unfavorably to other stalker thrillers of the era, such as The Fan, 1981, and Visiting Hours, 1982. Interestingly, Andrew Stevens would go on to play both Predator and Protector in similar roles throughout the 80s and 90s, even appearing alongside Fairchild again in Point of Seduction, Body Chemistry 3, 1994, and Body Chemistry 4, Full Exposure, 1995. In the years since its release, The Seduction has found a cult following, particularly among fans of So Bad It's Good cinema. Whether appreciated for its unintentional camp value or simply as an artifact of early 80s Hollywood excess, the film remains a fascinating case study in how not to craft a thriller. Now it's time to hear from you. Have you seen The Seduction? Do you think it's unfairly maligned, or does it deserve its reputation as a campy misfire? Let us know in the comments.